Alright, in this video I want to talk about Tisha B'Av, or the 9th of Av. If you don't know what day that would be on the Gregorian calendar this year, after looking at my new moon app that I got here, if it's accurate, the first slither of the new moon will be on the 30th of July, which would make that the first day, or I would suppose the 31st, the first day of Av. And that would mean that the 9th of Av would be on the 8th. But if it starts the first sliver on the 30th, that would be the 7th. So 7th to 8th of August would be the 9th of Av this year. And why am I talking about this? Well, because a lot of people are talking about this who are looking for the return of Jesus. And at first I was like, why would he return on that day? I'm looking towards the Feast of Trumpets. That's when I'm thinking this is going on. But when I started hearing the people out, I started to think about it. And I was remembering Jesus talking to Israel, talking to the Jews, and telling them, the sign I'm going to show you is that you'll destroy this temple, and in 3 days I'm going to raise it back up. And they were like, huh? Because they thought he was talking about the physical temple that was made out of stone and gold and such things. But he was talking about his body. Right? And notice how he said he was just going to raise it back up. Well, we are told as Christians that we are the body of Jesus and the temple of God, the temple of the Holy Spirit. So I was starting to see a connection, because the 9th of Av is all about the destruction of the first temple. And I think the second temple was destroyed on the same day. World War I and World War II started on this day. Now it's different on the Gregorian and Julian calendars, but on the Jewish calendar, it's always been the 9th of Av that these things have happened. And I was listening to some people talk about it, and they were saying, yeah, this would be a warning sign to the Jews. And I was like, you know what? You might be right, because no one knows the day or the hour, right? And this would be a wake-up sign to the Jews, because in Matthew 24, like I've mentioned in a few recent videos talking about the rapture, Jesus is telling the Jews that the start of the time of Jacob's trouble is going to give you signs, such as Israel coming back as the fig tree and bringing forth leaves, and that generation's not going to pass until they see all these things. And a generation is 78 to 80 years, and 80 years is from when Israel was brought back, would be 2028. And the other sign Jesus said is that it's going to be like a flash of lightning going from the east to the west. That's going to be the start of the coming of the Lord and the day of the Lord. And it's going to be as the days of Noah, as the days of Lot. But there's going to be two in a bed, one's going to be taken, one's left, showing nighttime. We got two grinding at the mill. One's taken, one's left, showing either early morning or possibly in the evening. And then we got two people in the field, one taken, one left, showing midday. So all over the world, one person's taken, one person's left. Like a flash of lightning during this fig tree generation. And it's supposed to be a sign to the Jews. And if it happens on the 9th of Av, it's as if the temple is gone. Because this whole time they thought the temple was something physical, but Jesus was talking about his body. And then on the 9th of Av, all of a sudden the church is gone. It's going to get these Jews to question things and being like, what's going on here? and things are going to change. And like I was talking to people before, I was thinking that there might be a brief time between when you're raptured and the wedding. And that time could be what people call the Bema Seat judgment, where we are judged for our works that we have done as Christians. Our salvation has obviously been set. We've been saved. But now our works will be judged. And then at the Feast of Trumpets might actually be the marriage and the start of the tribulation, where it's a 7-year tribulation, but for us it's a 7-year, I would say, honeymoon. And it seems like that is a possibility, that that's how things are going to go. Not too sure, but it definitely got my attention and woke me up. I was feeling a little sleepy, like I was going to take a quick nap or something. And then that woke me right up, like, hey, there's something to this. I think there might be something here. And like I was bringing up in the last video that I just posted earlier today, is that Jesus, the Christ, the Messiah, is married before he returns. As I was reading in Luke chapter 12, he was telling the Jews to be ready to receive him when he comes back from the wedding. And I can't believe I overlooked that, and other people have overlooked it as well. And I guess it's something else to add to some of these people who don't believe in a pre-trib rapture, is that right there shows you that he's telling the Jews that one's going to be taken, one's left all over the world. It's going to be like lightning, the twinkle of an eye, or as John goes up immediately into the Spirit when he's called up to the door opened in heaven. And the Messiah is married. Then he returns to defend Israel and have the wedding feast. The wedding feast is not the marriage. And Israel is not the bride. Israel is the mother of Jesus. The church is the bride. Jesus doesn't marry his mother. Okay? Something some people need to figure out and grasp, because that's kind of weird. You see, God is spirit. Israel is flesh. The joining of the two bring forth Jesus, who is both spirit and flesh, a mediator between the two. And that would make God the Spirit, the Father, Israel the flesh, the mother. Jesus not going to marry his mother. He marries the church, who becomes one flesh with Jesus, which would combine us but with the Spirit and the flesh as well. I could go on some of this, but I'm kind of drifting off and taken away from the 9th of Av here. Again, something to look forward to, for possibility. Even if we're not raptured, definitely keep an eye out on what's going on that time, 7th, 8th of August. But again, that's depending on the new moon. Might be seen a little bit earlier, so possibly the 6th. Probably not, but it could be the 6th of August. And it could end up lining up. So it's the 9th of August, ends up being the 9th of Av. Again, not likely, but it could, depending on when the new moon is actually sighted. But that more than likely is the 7th, 8th of August. And like I said, even if we're not raptured, something could be happening with Israel. It could even, as World War I, World War II started at that time, World War III might start as well. And who knows, it might start and it might happen really fast. And what might actually end it is the rapture at the Feast of Trumpets. That might stop things and confuse a lot of people, because it would cause a lot of confusion among the nations and the states and the businesses and the families. about people just gone, especially children. I think that might halt the war pretty quick and get people to want to figure things out. And then it could easily pave the way for people accepting a mark of the beast because they want to know what happened to the people. They want to track them. So everybody would agree to a chip, and then because of the war and all the stuff that's going on, financially, the economy has collapsed, currencies have collapsed. There's a new system, a digital currency, and in order to buy and sell, you'd have to take the mark. They're going to give you all kinds of reasons and incentives to take the mark and a whole lot of reasons not to. I mean, very little reason not to. I meant the reason why I said a whole lot of reasons not to is because spiritually there's a whole lot of reasons not to for the salvation of your soul. But if you're not looking at that, you're just looking at your physical flesh in this world, there's going to be a whole lot of enticing reasons to take it. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on this. Thanks for watching and take care.